Hi folks, Kevin here for drawingandcoloring.com. I have a question. Do your noses look like this? How about that? Today we're going to make a video about the 3 biggest mistakes new artists make whenever they're drawing noses. Stick around, coming up in just a minute. Alright, so now that we know that there's 3 top things, let's get over to the table and check them out. Okay, so here we are. We have the 3 top things that most new artists are going to have trouble with when drawing their noses. If you look on the side here, I've drawn 3 out that are pretty typical of a new nose that most people draw. The top one, kind of has that childish look. It actually is probably one of the more accurate ones of all of these. The other one is just kind of like it's almost like a worm with two holes. And then the other one is more just a triangle, like a corner, like an L. All of these work well, but if you really want to have a realistic nose and have it come off as you know what you're doing, these probably won't be the ones that you're gonna go after in design-wise choices. So, and if you look at all of these, they all have a harsh outline. This one's kind of more of that old Superman comic. These are more kind of comic type noses, and those have illustrative purposes, but if you want to draw a more realistic nose, it's really simple. All you gotta do is you can draw a real nose using just 3 to 4 simple lines, and then the rest is all tone and shading. So let's go ahead and do a quick one right here just to give you a quick demonstration, and then you can go ahead and try it on your own and see how yours come out. So here we go. So when you first start, if you really just, there's the nostrils, you can see that, and then there's the outer nostril. And then all you do is you're just going to replicate that. Everybody has 2 eyes, everybody has 2 nostrils. And there you go, it's already kind of starting to come together. And at this stage, that really would be all the main lines that you would need to draw. That's the main setup for your nose. Everything else is going to just be shading. So what we can go ahead and do, if you have a specific drawing you're using or anything like that, you can take the little subtleties of the nose and maybe add a little line like that, because right here would be the ball. And then after, you can fill in the nostrils a little bit more. And that nose is pretty much done. If I was doing an illustrative nose or one with a little more comic book or simple feel, that would be my nose. I'd be done. If you'd like to show more detail, then it's really all shading. So you just determine your light source. We can put one over here, or we can put one over here. And the main thing to remember with that is wherever this light is coming from, the darker it's going to be on the opposite side. So when you're shading, this nostril is going to have a little bit of tone on the other side from the dark, from this overhang of shading. And since everything in the dark kind of recedes, that's how you're going to shade the entire nose. So let's go ahead and get into this a little more, and I'll throw it into time-lapse a little bit for you just so you can see kind of how I do it. I will go in with the pencil. Right now I'm using a 6B pencil, but I also find it really easy to just use one of these blending stumps, as you've probably seen in the other videos. These are the easiest thing to just throw down massive amounts of value and tone in a short period of time. Now obviously you can draw in the shading directly with the pencil. I do recommend using a softer lead. It'll be a lot easier for you to get it down. I'll go ahead and get in this shading here and throw it in a time lapse, and we'll talk about how the shading is at the end. Okay, so there you go. I didn't even use the stump on this one. I just went in with the pencil and drew in the sketchy lines using cross hatching, which I guess I'll go ahead and make a video. I guess I'll make a video on shading. It seems to be a pretty big topic that most people have trouble with. Cross-hatching is pretty straightforward. It's just really drawing, simple sets of lines and kind of varying the closeness or intensity of them to give you the values in different shades. With this, noses, the less you can really start to overshade a nose pretty quickly if you don't kind of police yourself, and it'll turn to just a flat blob very quickly. So the best advice I can say would be to use very light lines, study the shadows as best you can, and knowing some of the anatomy of the nose and kind of what's behind it will help with any part of the face that you're drawing, whether it's the eye, the mouth, the teeth, the face in general, the jawbones. But yeah, if you can see how it's just a matter of sketching in light lines and tones until you finally get those, basically the light patterns that are on the nose. You really just copying the light patterns. And if you have a trouble with that, you can even draw a little bit of an outline of the shadows and the light patterns. Just draw those. Those will probably help you with the shading. And for most illustrations and things like that, I'll definitely do that. I'll draw a harder line, and then I'll just draw in the quick tone, and then I'll come back and I'll blend it all together and make it smooth using one of these stumps. That really helps with capturing the specific edges of the shadows and lights, and it helps you not really go too overboard with it. But yeah, go ahead, sketch a few noses, get them from magazines, try them out. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.